Hi, and welcome to the Introduction to Embase workshop. We're going to start from the library's homepage, and I'm going to navigate to the database Embase. And from there, I'm just going to show you some of the key features of this database so you can get up and using it as quick as possible. Now, if you haven't heard of Embase before, you're going to use it similarly to how you would use PubMed, in that it's a biomedical database full of scholarly articles. However, no two databases work the same, nor do they have the exact same contents. So that's why we do these workshops, so that you're able to walk through and get comfortable with the database yourself. Now, whenever you come to the home page, you're going to see just a broad search right from the start. So let's do a very simple search to begin. One thing I really like about Embase is you can see not only the terms that you should autofill with, but the amount of results you're going to get with that term. So if we start with asthma, we are, of course, at quite a lot of results to start. So let's narrow it down. We're suggested to use this full term instead of just COVID, so that's what we're going to do. And it takes us down to about 7,000 results. Now, if we see right up here, this is our full search that we just completed with asthma and coronavirus. And you can see down here a number of results, and everything highlighted is going to be the words that are coming up from that search strategy. If we click this page here, we're going to see the full abstract. We're also going to see any terms that have been indexed or attached to this abstract. We'll also get additional information down here, such as the DOI, the nation that it was written in, lots of extra information down here. If you look at the top right, you see several more options, including a button for UT links. This is going to be the button that will take you out to the full text of the article. So for this one, we specifically get the article link. And that's going to take us to the journal's website. We're able to scroll through the whole article here, and we could also download it here as well to keep the PDF. Now, this is just one way that you can search for your results. There are several other ways that you can go about it as well. One other way of searching is using Mtree, which is a controlled vocabulary. So this is going to be terms that are specifically indexed by folks that work at Embase to each article. So instead of using the type of terms that we just used in the same kind of way that you would put in any keyword in, say, Google or any other search engine, this is going to be a more rigid way of searching, where the controlled vocabulary terms are structured in a different way than a keyword might be. So let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's do asthma again. Now, we're not just doing the keyword this time, we're actually in Mtree. And you can see how this really does look like a tree, the way it branches out with all the different terms that could live underneath it. I'm going to take the asthma control vocabulary Mtree term, and I'm going to add it to my query builder. See this, you see this little EXP right here. That means that it has been made into an Mtree term. We're going to do the same thing again for COVID. We get coronavirus disease 2019. I'm going to add this to the query builder, and you can see, wow, this is tons and tons of results. But the reason that that is the word or is between them. If I use the word and, we go down to 5,844. Now keep in mind, before, the results we were looking at had just over 7,000. So the reason that this is just under 6,000 is because these are specifically controlled vocabulary terms. So those are indexed to less things than just a good old normal keyword would be. So while it's important to know what these controlled vocabulary terms are doing, you're also going to want to use your keywords as well, just like we did in our initial basic search, to make sure you're capturing everything about your term. So you can now see the difference in these two searches. This is keyword searching, as well as controlled vocabulary searching. And this is just controlled vocabulary searching. And that's why there's a difference in these two numbers. I like to show that because I think it's important to know what controlled vocabulary is doing for you in the background, but that it's also important to include just your good old normal keyword so that you're capturing everything. Now let's go back out to the homepage. I would like to show you a couple other functions. This Pico search is a really great way to add synonyms that you might not have thought of. So if you're searching for one type of term, say pediatrics, but you're not including synonyms around types of words describing children as patients, you might miss some literature if you're not including everything. So what I like to do is include the pediatrics term, and on this Pico search, you get this great function that says to add 28 synonyms. So now you have added tons of extra words surrounding pediatrics. I'm going to then use asthma as my intervention. Of course, we don't intervene with asthma, but we're using it as a separate piece in our search. I'm going to add 11 synonyms here as well. And then finally, I'm going to use COVID. And we're going to do the 36 synonyms here. So now you can see we have just under 1,200 results that are specific to childhood asthma and coronavirus disease. This is a really good way to use the Pico format in a way that just gets you synonyms. But if you're constructing a systematic review search and you have a Pico that you've had to register as part of your protocol for your systematic review or anything like that, this is a really great way to structure that Pico as well and make sure you're capturing all your synonyms so that your search is as comprehensive as possible. Now you can see we've got just under 1,200 results down here, a whole lot highlighted. So we've got a really big search. Now, one more way of searching that I think is really important, especially if you're doing any type of drug research. I'm going to open up this page here. And since we've been talking about asthma, I'm going to use albuterol. So you can see it tells us specifically to use this term instead of albuterol. So that's what I'm going to do. And then you can see all these different options down here of ways we can filter. I'm going to open up this drug subheadings. And then you can see a lot of different types of drug research we can connect with this drug. So I'm going to do adverse drug reactions and hit search. So now everything I'm searching for is specific to this drug with adverse drug reactions. So we have about 2,000 results specific to this. And we can scroll through here and find any type of literature that's involving adverse effects of this asthma medication. One more thing to note as you're exploring Embase is there is a lot of filters over here that you can use. So if you're looking at a specific population, you can filter down by age. You can filter to specific medical devices, to specific drugs or disease states. You can go through the publication types as well as the year of publication if you would like to be as current as possible. There are a lot of different ways that you can narrow down an Embase. I hope this has been very helpful. These are the main functions of Embase that I think once you have these handled and understood, you can really continue to use Embase and explore further from there. But these are really the building blocks to get you comfortable with Embase. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about Embase at all or any of our other research tools, you can find your librarian at this page here. These are all of the library liaisons, as well as which college you're affiliated with and which librarian is yours to contact. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day.